everyone, what is up? We're back for the Survivor 50 live stream for the Survivor 50 finale. I'm your host, Richie. I'm here with my co-host today.
Hello, Richie. It's good to be back on the cans with you again, talking about Survivor 50 for one final time. It is I, Alex Steib. We have a lot to talk about here. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm very excited because this is obviously the end of Survivor 50. And I think we know I'm excited that it's over because I did not enjoy 50. And I think production kind of dropped the ball on a lot of things. But that's just my opinion. We might be joined by Joey in a little bit. I'm hoping Devin can join us. I'm not 100% sure right now. But before we do, I do have some plugs I want to put out there. Challenge Wisconsin season 2 just aired its finale 2 days ago. Go watch a Challenge Wisconsin. Go apply for season 3. We just aired our season 2 finale, and honestly, it was such a great season, a very poetic ending, and I don't want to spoil it. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Cannot speak today. Challenge Wisconsin 3 is casting right now. Saturday, September 26th in East Troy, Wisconsin is when we're doing it. I think I have the application linked in the description. So go check it out. Queer Survivor Midwest is also casting right now for our season on July 11th, 2026. I will be hosting it. I'm Steve. I think you're helping with production, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said you're helping in production for Queer Survivor, right? Queer Survivor Midwest.
Yeah, I'll be on the production team.
Yeah, so you get to meet both of us there. It'll be such a fun time. Please do apply. It's such a fun game. It's a one-day LRG Survivor game. Additionally, go check out Survivor Wisconsin as well. Go check that out and see for future seasons. And see, because, you never know when they're going to be casting, and you definitely want to be a part of Survivor Wisconsin. And one other thing, I finally took this out. I got like 3 Christmases ago. It's a little tiki thing. And look at this. Look at this. It lights up. I finally took this out last night. It's actually symbolic because it's one torch for one survivor winning the game.
That's pretty lit. Well done.
Right? I'm gonna sneak this next week for season 11 production for decoration. Actually, I can't sneak it in now. He's gonna watch this and know I'm bringing it in. But anyways, so season 50. I think we should get started. Final fight. I'm trying to remember a lot of what happened. I know we get back to camp. Tiffany's essentially pissed off that because I did watch this at a live finale party in Milwaukee, so I kind of got sidetracked a couple times. I'm an ADHD dumbass. We all know this. But yeah, we get back to camp. Tiffany's kind of pissed off that she was left out of the vote. I think she was the only one to side with Suri, who should have been in this finale, let's be completely honest. But yeah, so Tiffany's kind of pissed off, and I think it's very obvious that like Tiffany's the next to go if she doesn't win immunity. I think that's kind of the whole thing they set up at the first couple of minutes, right? Or am I forgetting something else that happened?
No, that's pretty accurate. Tiffany knows at this point she's going to have to win out in order to stay in this game. But she knows that if she can't get to the final somehow, she has a very good shot of winning. And yeah, that seems to be what the general consensus was at that Milwaukee watch party that I was so fashionably dressed at. Go check out the Instagram posts that were made from that night. Honestly, I fucking slayed, but I digress. It was pretty formulaic for Tiffany, and she knew what she had to do. And she's another example of production dropping the ball when it comes to her pre-merge and early phases of the game when she wasn't getting that much content. So for her to be able to come into the middle stage and the late stage of the game and be so impactful and to have such a great story and to have such a good shot to win if she gets there, like, props to her. But she's just got to seal the deal now.
Right. I mean, basically, it's very obvious from the start, and I'm just watching parts of the finale again on my phone while we talk about it so I can refresh my memory. But I think definitely it's very obvious. Like, even Jonathan is talking to Rizzo, and Rizzo and Jonathan are both having a good conversation, basically talking about, like, hey, like, we want Tiffany first and then Aubrey second, which I really don't. I kind of understand the aspect of it. of wanting to go for Tiffany, who is a bigger threat and could potentially win out Final Four. But here's a big thing. Aubrey has won. If you're really that worried about fire making, Aubrey's won fire. Like, I'd be thinking about that and be like, hey, remember how Aubrey literally won fire and Co Wrong? Like, wouldn't that already show you that, like, she's already, like, a bigger risk and that she either wins immunity or gets through with fire? Like, Aubrey was, like... But it's just kind of just... It's Jonathan's logic. He wants an all-do Final 3.
It's just interesting logic that the new era doesn't decide to band together when they have the 4-1 majority, get rid of Aubrey, the final remaining, like, original, like, older era type player, and then just leave it up to the new era. Because, yeah, for these people not to think that Aubrey would get a lot of sympathy at the end of this game if she were to make it to Final 3, like, that's just foolish. And, yeah, I couldn't believe it either.
Right. It's really just so, I don't want to say boring to watch this first round, but it's just, I don't feel like a lot happens. And then they do a lot. They think what they used to do in the 30s reunions, where they get a little stage, bring people up one by one and all that. And they kind of been doing that again. And they kind of bring Suri out. They give her the Spirit of Survivor award, because that totally makes up for losing out on $2 million, and partially because of a lot of stupid twists. And led to her allies going out. Am I missing anything from before the challenge, or is that basically it?
I don't think so.
All right. We get to the challenge, and it's basically an obstacle course that leads into a puzzle. It basically comes down to Tiffany and Jonathan. Jonathan wins. Yay.
And way to completely kill the momentum, because honestly, in the moment, there was like a live, like, photo finish feel to that challenge. It really looked like Tiffany was about to pull out the comeback clutch victory here. But yeah, Jonathan, the total package, steals away the victory. And he shouts, yes, 18 times like he always does. So,
and then he does the worm.
Team style, bitch. Hashtag Team Stipe for life, even though I didn't know about his controversies. Hashtag just saying.
Hashtag uh-oh. Anyways, he does the worm. I will say, we have a friend named Nick who can do the worm better. So shout out Nick. I'll try to get him on a breakdown. One of our breakdowns next season, because I do intend to do these breakdowns for 51, because these are honestly so much fun, and I'm trying to get my charger for my laptop, because my battery is a piece of shit on my laptop. Okay, there we go. Anyway, sorry. So, back. Yeah, so he does the worm, and then, like, it's just so obvious that, like, Tiffany's essentially screwed. They bring out Rick and Devin to talk.
I thought he was having a fit, I can't lie. I wouldn't call that a worm. And yes, Nick would put Jonathan to shame if it was a worm competition.
I think a lot of people have been putting Jonathan to shame the past week. Actually, I should. Anyways, yeah, Jonathan did pee. I actually did forget that too. Jonathan puked in the middle of the challenge.
It was perfect timing. I think Jeff Probst said you got to have the guts or something to, like.
Oh yeah, it was like challenge. Right.
And then he literally threw up like right after that. Right. Good job, production. I can't believe I said that about Survivor 50. Wow.
So they go back to camp. Tiffany immediately throws her bag down. She's pissed. As she should be. I think the big thing is just kind of she tries to talk to. She tries to immediately talk to Rizzo and Jonathan and everyone to try to convince them to, like, hey, like, maybe, like, let me say one more round, like, but then Rizzo immediately was like, no, like, you're gonna kick my ass. And in a deleted scene, apparently this wasn't shown, but it has been it is, like, very commonly talked about at this point. Like, Tiffany even said that she had a conversation with Jonathan where Jonathan basically told her that he wasn't going to take her further because he doesn't want to have any woman at the end. It was something of that sort. I forgot word for word how she said it, but she did say this in a red carpet interview the night of the finale, that conversation with Jonathan wasn't shown. And I literally remember watching this. I'm like, Jonathan, because like it's just kind of one of those things where I feel like they try to edit out a lot of why the jury did not like Jonathan and why they were pissed with him. It's just, it's stuff like this, like picking fights with people as they're about to go out the door, like saying stuff like that to Tiffany as she's about to go out the door, like little things like that piss people off. And for those of you who don't know, he was on this like show called Endurance as when he was like 14. It was basically almost like I don't know how to describe it. I would say look it up. But it was like a reality show, and even then, he was paired up with someone, and he constantly, I think, like fought with this girl for like a part of the season. Like him and his partner just kept arguing with each other. It was like the funniest thing. Like I saw a video of it, and it was just like funny TV drama at the time. But at the same time, it was like Jonathan, like still has not learned from Endurance on the social game. But I think then Tiffany tries a campaign and push for literally Joe and Aubrey, and just it doesn't really do much of anything. What else am I forgetting from before Tribal at the final 5?
Nothing really. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. And yeah, from this point, going back to what I said a few minutes ago, Tiffany's best pitch is just trying to pitch Aubrey and just trying to say, hey, no, she is going to get a lot of sympathy here. We got to be smart here. Let's just stay New Era strong. And then and she was pitching to Jonathan. I promise, I swear to God, I won't put you into fire make. I'll take you to the end with me if I can.
Oh,
just trying those sorts of last minute, like last ditch deals and just hoping that one of them sticks. That's basically what Tiffany was doing. And yeah, like unfortunately, none of them could. It was 4-1. There was nothing she could do. She was just way too strong, like socially and physically in the game.
Well, I was about to get to that in a minute with Tribal, but like basically before we get to Tribal, they pin back to the reunion stage. I say that in quotes, and we'll get to that poor excuse for reunion later on. But basically what happens is that they get to the stage, they have a conversation with Mike White, who I don't even know if he just didn't bother to show up because he's on a TV that they use when like people don't show up. So unless
they said he was in France. And he was filming
White Lotus. Right, he's filming White Lotus, yeah. But what happened was that he basically then goes off and says that the next 2 Survivor players to get a cameo on White Lotus are, I think it was Charlie and Camilla, which I find that hilarious that Ozzy even vocally said he was trying to like borderline simp Mike White for a fucking White Lotus cameo, and he didn't even get it. Like, I just think that's the
Ozzy absolutely will. Ozzy absolutely will get on the show eventually, just because it's become a joke now. But yeah, no, those are 2 solid choices. So good job, Mike White.
Right. No, it was like I just thought it was funny, and then Kyle from 48 had this whole reaction post on Instagram where he's all like, I'm not mad for Camilla. I'm happy. And they have this like whole like brother-sister duo interaction with each other on social media where like Camilla said that she would have won, she would have paid for Kyle to get like a hair transplant as a joke. And then Kyle's like, oh, I'm really happy for Camilla, and it was just like, it sounded like a sarcastic joke, but he was happy for her. And I just thought this back and forth from the both of them. It's just the funniest thing ever. Like, they're just, I love the both of them. I hope we get to see them on reality TV more because they're just such a hilarious duo that just, I need to see more Kyle and Camilla. I think they're 2 of the best characters come out of the new era, to be honest. Like, but yeah, I mean, Tribal Council, I think you already kind of briefly already touched on it. There's really not that much like to talk about. Tiffany goes out. I mean, it's like unanimous. And it sucks for Tiffany because she literally could have gotten like a Kelly Wentworth-esque edit. She was painted as like the biggest threat going into the finale. Someone who's there for their second chance. Or people are like, why is this person here? Like a what the fuck pick. And Tiffany just gets nothing in the edit. And it's like, make it any more obvious that she's not winning. Like, it was just very frustrating to watch. Like, I really think Tiffany should have gotten more content over certain people who got out way earlier than her. I don't have the confessional count list on me right now, but like, I just think Tiffany should have gotten at least like 1 confessional every episode. Should have had a lot more content throughout the entire game instead of just waiting for it until like spurts here and there. Just Tiffany, I like Tiffany, but even at the reunion, she flat out says that like she's coming back, and then she's gonna win. And back in my head, I'm like I love Tiffany, but back in my head, I'm like, where is she getting this from? Because the edit shows me that they did not care for her on the season they put her on in general. So what makes her think she's gonna come back? Unless production told her something else, which I could very much see. But Tiffany goes out here, and it's unfortunate. So, Side, what do you think? Yeah, I was about to get to you. I saw your finger.
I think Tiffany has the potential to be one of the biggest names to come out of this 10-season new era block. And we could potentially be looking at a new superstar for Survivor, similar to the next Cirie Fields, to be honest. I think Tiffany has all the tools as to be a very good fan favorite Survivor player, and she's absolutely going to get the call back, and it's going to absolutely be impossible for her to try and navigate the game with a massive target like that, but she's absolutely going to get the call back. And as much as production messed up, I don't believe that's necessarily against her per se. I think that's just production making their stupid mistakes as they do, and just Tiffany being another victim of them. And I really do believe Tiffany is like a future star for the show, and yeah, we'll totally see her back. And it was unfortunate for her to take 5th place, but for her to get 5th place with the little showcase she had in the pre-merge, but then her incredible showcase midway and then to the end of the game, she's absolutely going to be back. And yeah, we love Tiffany.
I like Tiffany too. I'm not saying she'll never be back. My only big thing is I question, like, only because of the edit. So I would love to see Tiffany come back again. I just wish we got more content this season. I mean, I do think she has a chance with how popular she was at the end of the season. The purple edit is just really what kind of worries me. That's my only concern. Just because they would constantly prioritize other people around her, despite the fact she was the end game target. But I could definitely see a world where Tiffany comes back. I think it just has to depend on the theme.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely enough groundswell there and support for her from fans. And I definitely believe that production will take the lessons that they've learned from 50 and apply them better to other people in the future. So, yeah, time will tell.
I'm hoping so. So I don't think really anything from between the Final 5 Tribal and the Final 4 Challenge really matters. It's basically just them talking about how they need to win against Aubrey. And Aubrey's trying to be like, I need to win this.
These
and then
three men just have to beat women. Oops.
The biggest thing is that then they get to the challenge. It's Samotion again for the 4th time in the new era. Hooray.
Shut up. This challenge is great.
I don't like it. It's so boring to watch it.
They could definitely try to add a few extra paths to try to switch it up, because it did look like the same challenge that I just rewatched from Kagi-On. Shout out to that season. Go rewatch it later.
But yeah, I mean, it's basically saying the fans voted for that, and I think it's revealed in this. I forgot if it was revealed before or after this challenge thing that the fans voted for fire, which I highly doubt they did, with how many people were complaining about in social media for the last 5 years, how much they don't like forced fire making. I just can't see that they voted for fire.
That was me. That was me with a million alt accounts. Fuck all of you. I will outvote all of you. I don't care. I am all for forced fire making. 4th place Robbed King right here. Thank you.
Okay, well, Captain's Curse aside, do you think you could have... Okay, actually, no, now I want to know. Do you think you would have won fire if it was like you versus whoever else? Because Mike probably puts you in against Delaney, right?
I could have won the game so many different ways if I did so many things differently. But, no, I shouldn't have fallen off the balance beam in the Final 4 challenge, basically. And, no... If it was like 1v1 Flip Cup, I probably would win. I'm decent at Flip Cup. Yeah. And I feel like in that moment, I would have been pressured enough to be like, I need to fucking do this. So
go watch Survivor Wisconsin, Captain's Curse, everyone. That's the season we're talking about.
Anyways. I'm full sarcasm on that season too. Believe me.
I'm a sarcastic bitch every time I play. I'm not gonna really bury the lead with the Final Four challenge. Aubrey wins it. And it's Final Four forced fire making.
I was praying for Aubrey more than I've prayed for Jimmy to win. Like that was the most necessary win for everybody's just appeasement. Because if Jonathan won that challenge or if Joe won that challenge, like there might have been riots in the streets of Milwaukee. Like people would have been pissed there. But instead, we had a great time. We were celebrating so hard because Aubrey won. And at that point, we already knew how this night would end. So,
yeah.
But we'll get there. So, congrats, Aubrey.
So basically, Aubrey kind of tells Joe, like, hey, you're going to the finals with me. Rizzo and Jonathan start practicing. And Rizzo's getting, like, PTSD flashbacks to losing fire and just literally the previous season that it wasn't even like a full month ago. So I just think it's funny. He starts crying and then he starts smiling like R-I-Z-G-O-D, like crying, spelling the nickname. I'm like, Rizzo. I love Rizzo. Like,
you're an asshole.
No, it was fun. Have you
no
laughing about this?
I know, and to be fair, I've laughed at similar people crying in similar situations, to be honest. I guess in this instance, I have a very interesting relationship with Rizzo because as much as I've critiqued his game on these live streams, I have a very interesting relationship with my father because he watches the show as well, and he cannot fucking stand Rizzo. So I have to play devil's advocate to Rizzo to him, and it's actually so sweet because what I told my dad, because Rizzo's about our age, he might be a little younger than us. I told my dad, like, hey, if I were to fulfill my dream and get cast on this show, I would be doing shit similar to Rizzo in my own way, and you would love me for it, Dad. But then some other dad across America would find me fucking obnoxious. So I find Rizzo very entertaining as a character, and he's very much full of himself. But in a way, it's kind of like a necessary, like sort of not evil, more like a necessary ego.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's dad is going to find me obnoxious when I play Survivor. Ladies, hide your dads. Anyway, okay, sorry, jokes aside. Anyways, yeah, but I wasn't laughing that he was crying. It's only that he was crying and like was halfway through crying to spell his nickname. R-I-Z.
I know, and that part is pretty cringe. But it's just it's the Gen Z like anxiety that's something that I like saw in that moment, and I can honestly relate to this guy. Like shit, I get anxious and I want to perform well and I want to be the best. I can relate to that.
Yeah, that is me 100% every time I play a game. Joe tries to help Rizzo. I do think it's interesting, the dynamic with Jonathan and Rizzo going into fire, because both of them lost fire the last time they played. So one of them is getting redemption and at least getting to the end. And the other one, again, is just missing out. So, I mean, I think it's very symbolic in that sense.
It's also symbolic because Joe is a firefighter in real life. So for him to make a fire would be counterintuitive against his nature. So that's the Stone Bell for you, getting his way.
They go back to the sound stage of the reunion, and it's basically all the early boots and people who vote off like before the jury. They get a Corona. It's basically such an obvious like sponsored segment that like it's so obviously sponsored. Does it make me want a Corona? Yes, but it's so obviously a sponsored segment that I'm like, come on, like.
So here's my big question to you, Richie, and maybe this what should have been more saved for later, but I mean, let's talk about it now. What are your thoughts on the structure of this live reunion for 50 as opposed to something in traditional live reunion past where they'll play the majority of the episode, maybe like very little intermissions in between for the live audience, but like nothing crazy, no fucking several minute sponsorship segments, none of this ridiculous award presenting crap that nobody asked for. It would just be, you would do the show, you would bring everybody out at the end of the show, you would have everybody sitting there, the whole cast, you would even have time to ask everybody questions, and everyone would get their moment. And I'm just wondering, What do you think about this new structure where they're like talking about these segments like throughout the show, and they gave a segment like this to the pre-jury, which ultimately for me, I think that's kind of lame because this is the 50th season. These are returning players that we probably won't see on our TVs again. Maybe they should have more time. What do you think?
I agree. They should have had more time. I'll talk about this when we talk about the reunion later on. I don't mind if they're gonna have little segments here and there during the finale, but I felt like they had way too many, and I was almost taking away from like the finale itself. And I felt like they were trying to do it to cover up the fact that they really just it was a very predictable outcome, and that they really just did not edit it well. Again, I'll get more to the reunion later because there's a lot more I'll have to say later. But we get the final four. I don't think there's really much to talk about. Jonathan wins fire. And poor Rizzo is just got PTSD. Like, he's skinny as like a stick right now, as he just played back-to-back seasons. He literally just did back-to-back seasons. He played Survivor for, I think he said it was like 50 out of like, it was around like 50 out of like 58 to 60 days he spent like playing Survivor
like
straight.
9 days in between, like trying to eat as much food as possible, trying to spend as much time with your family as possible. He obviously could have spent a little more time practicing fire making, but we digress. It's an unfortunate but familiar fate for R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God Baby. G-O-D. It's unfortunate to see him go out like this. However, in talking about the results, Richie, we've talked about the results, but we haven't talked about how the results of the Fire Make Challenge were revealed to us.
Yeah, I was actually right about to say that. So for those of you who watched it live, we watched it live in Milwaukee. And Jeff Probst, I think, had a segment where he brought out Rizzo to talk about it. And he was like, hey, everyone, let's bring out the person who just lost fire, Rizzo. But they had the segment timed wrong. And they had the segment before we even got the fire. And so right before they went back to fire, Jeff Probst tried to, I think, pull some bullshit with it on the live stage and be like, well, we accidentally got it wrong. And we decided we want to do it differently this time around and tell you who lost fire and then show it. And he was trying to he was trying to cover his ass. He was trying to cover his ass because he spoiled it live who won the game. Or not who won the game, sorry, who won fire. I just thought it was so funny that he basically spoiled who lost and who won. And they re-edited it on Paramount Plus already because they're trying to cover up their mistake. But,
well, as we always say, Pepperidge Farms will remember because this was a moment not only in Survivor history but in live television history to remember because it was just very hilarious. And ultimately, I'm the type of person to find the middle ground in a lot of issues. So allow me to place the blame for this unfortunate blunder on literally everyone involved equally because you got to think Jeff Probst has been here since season 1. Since the year 2000. So he's been here 25, 26 years. And he's done live reunions in the past. Obviously, they've tried to cut back on them to try to save a little bit of coin. What else is new? But this is another one of those instances where, maybe he should be thinking about the awkwardness that Rizzo is giving off or that the other jurors are kind of eyeing him something's afoot here. Right. And I also can realize that it's not entirely fully Jeff's fault either, because there are entire production teams running this whole live reunion. And like you said, they managed to absolutely botch the scheduling and the timing of that segment. And what they should have done is they should have just went straight to commercial, back from commercial, show Jonathan win the fire make, and then cut to the live shot with Rizzo. Yeah. So somehow, obviously, like you said, that all got mixed up somehow. So if anything, it's more so somebody internally's fault. However, it's just, when this happened, I thought, oh my God, all of my Survivor diehard friends, they all hate Jeff Probst. They're going to crucify him for this. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, I think a lot of them were going to crucify Jeff Probst beforehand, but I think this didn't help. The big thing that gets me is more so the fact that, like, again, it's just such a dumb thing. It's like, how do you not sit back and think? Like, I mean, because Jeff's got to be watching this too. And I don't want to shit on Jeff so much that I get myself blacklisted from ever playing Survivor, because I've been thinking about applying a lot more lately. But
you've got to imagine that they have like mini screens and mini TVs off to the side of the stage, or if you know, like, yeah. Again, we're talking about $1 billion like multimedia corporation. Like, come on, y'all, get your stuff together.
Right.
Sorry, not sorry. It wasn't my fault.
Oh no, I agree. We get to the final 3. I mean, it's kind of the usual like final 3, except now they actually do the family visit, but they kind of cheap it out and spend no time in the family visit and only bring it for the final 3 people. I heard a rumor they actually brought Rizzo's mom on the island. I think they got him all the day before, but because Rizzo didn't make the finals, he couldn't see his mom. And so they had to ship her back, and it sounds like she doesn't even speak English, is what I think Sophie Bolardi said this on somewhere online. I forgot where. Sophie Bolardi, or a 49 alum, said that like Rizzo's mom came out on the island, but then had to be taken back home, and she wasn't even told like that she couldn't see Rizzo. Which I kind of find that sad that they wouldn't even at least let her like spend time with him on the fucking island. It's like, she's already there, he's out, what does it matter? And then
that's pretty brutal.
I think it was Aubrey's mom, I think, Jonathan's brother, and Joe's tall-ass wife is how he described her. I mean, I feel like they spend like next to no time in the family, because I feel like it holds no importance. And this whole
I miss it so much. I miss it so fucking much. And yes, they absolutely should bring it back. And yes, absolutely with more people. And oh my God, it would be so good TV. And it gets me like emotional nearly every time. And I'm not even on the island. So like, I would imagine like if I'm on the island, I would be fucking bawling.
I like it when they do it on Australian Survivor, because even though they always do the loved ones visit towards the end as well, they do it like before the final challenge. And they'll at least give them like a few minutes, and they'll at least let them like spend time with their family, like a couple minutes before the challenge, and like let them talk or whatever. And there is this like emotional moment right before the final challenge. So you can still have it with only a few people there, but have it before the final challenge then. Because then it's more like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more of a cinematic moment to have them literally watch a final challenge. Like Australian Survivor does this. Like I think I'm only on like, I'm in the middle of watching their like Australian Blood versus Water. Spoiler alert, it's not that good. But I can't not wait to get past the season and watch the other ones, because I've heard they're great. But they usually do the family loved ones visit at like the final 3 or 4, like before the final challenge. So it's like, it's really good. I love the way they do it. It's a great format to do it at. So, I mean, I just think that could have been done better. It doesn't feel like they really focused much time on it. Like, it just feels like they didn't care. Like, it just feels like they were just trying to rush it through to the final tribal. Even then, I don't think really much happens at final tribal. I mean, we can get to final tribal right now, but I mean, it's just kind of like the players and a jury are just kind of their normal, like, spiel of like, oh, I think this person's to win because blah, blah, blah. I think this person's to win because blah, blah, blah. Like, it's kind of just,
they each have their own individual stories, because like Aubrey played the sneaky floating game. She was able to dodge elimination multiple times with all the crazy twists and turns of the game, and she was able to navigate being like being like in the position of not winning those like last few immunity challenges up until the very last one, where she could have gone home multiple times and she didn't. So that's her incredible social game on display there. And then you have somebody like Jonathan, who has been playing the older school, sort of well-rounded game, trying to do everything, but also pissing off a lot of people along the way. And then there's Joe, who tried to do what Jonathan was doing. And Joe admittedly did win plenty of immunity challenges himself. So that's something to hang a hat on. But he likes to say he played a different game and that he wanted to like play for himself and all these other things, but it's clear that everybody's seeing right through it. So it's a 2-horse race here. Yeah.
I do have to disagree with the Jonathan part of it. I don't think Jonathan played a well-rounded game. I think socially he really pissed off way too many people on his way to the jury. I think strategically he tried to take credit for a lot of moves that weren't really his to begin with. And there were like other people's moves that they had already put into action, and then he tried to take credit for it. And it's like, I'm not saying he's a bad talker, but it's just one of those things where like I kind of looked at it and I'm just kind of like, I don't feel like Jonathan
It's
really
all
did as much.
perspective.
Right. And that perspective, it was the same thing with the perspective. Like it was kind of primarily due to the edit he was given. Because I feel like it's kind of a weird trend. I feel like whenever a woman wins, where it's like a woman getting first and a guy gets second, they try to show it off as like, this is why the guy should have won, and this is why the woman lost, or this is why the guy lost and why the woman won, rather than showing this is why the woman won. Where if you get like a guy winning over a woman, it's usually presented as this guy is such a great player, everyone, which I kind of noticed this recently more too, with a lot of recent seasons, which I think is very interesting. But like edit analysis and edgic and all that. But yeah, I kind of felt like this season was more so presented as like why Jonathan was about to lose in some aspects, but it still kind of tries to prop him up as this like great strategic player, and I'm kind of like, no.
He certainly thinks he does, and so does Stephanie.
Oh my gosh, that's something to talk about later. I mean, the only real notable parts about Final Tribal I can recall, and again, like, I'll say a couple things, and then if there's anything I'm forgetting, you can intervene, because I think it's kind of the open jury formatting, almost like it's been the last few seasons. The biggest notable moment, I think, was Joe basically in the moment starting to realize he's not winning this when they start talking about the Joe-tation. Which I think that was so funny that he finally got brought in on that, and they're finally telling him, like, Joe, you annoyed everyone on the island. You acted like a child. Like, chill out. And then Joe's kind of sitting there, and he did, like, a post-game interview about it, like, where he was basically saying, like, he didn't feel like people were going to vote for him to win, and he realized very quickly he was losing again. And I just kind of thought that was a little funny, because it's just kind of like it's just like a moment where Joe clearly did not learn from 48. Just like I knew he didn't. It was not enough time for him to process what happened and for him to really recognize, like, hey, this is why I lost 48. Maybe this is why it could have done better, could do better this time. It's just one of those things where, like, I don't know. I think
another example of somebody back too soon.
Right. And then, like, I think there's a lot of, and Stephanie tries to she tries to ask a question, and I think this is the funniest part of the Final Tribal, where she's trying to prop up Jonathan, fair enough, but she tries to ask a question, but it's not really a question, and then Tiffany literally calls her out, and she's like, Stephanie, like, what's the question here? Like, what are you trying to say? And I think it was like Dee and Tiffany both call out Jonathan. I forgot what it was for. They called out Jonathan for something that had happened that he was trying to say, and then they were like, Tiffany and Dee were like, no. Like, I think Dee was trying to do a lot of, like, managing with that jury to, like, talk to them and, like, facilitate a good, like, not a round table, but, like, to facilitate the conversations and, like, all of that. So I thought that was interesting. And I do love Dee. Dee should be coming back soon. And if Dee's not coming back soon, then, Jeffrey, we're going to have a good talk. I'm trying to think. Am I forgetting any other notable parts of Final Tribal? Because I feel like I probably am. Oh, I just remembered one thing. Sorry, I remembered one thing. With Ozzy trying to explain to Jonathan and Joe about playing the middle. And I just started laughing so hard when Ozzy was saying this, because I'm like, this is full circle for Ozzy. Like, the first time, Ozzy does not play a good strategic game and loses at the finals because of it. But then this time, he literally is calling it out. It's like, no, like, because Ozzy plays his best game ever in this season. He calls out Joe and Jonathan for complaining about Aubrey playing the middle or something like, or no, they were trying to claim they played the middle, and Ozzy was like, no, like, you guys did not play the middle. Like, this is what playing the middle looks like. I think that was a conversation, if I recall correctly. I might be a little fuzzy in some of those details, but I believe that was around that. I would think it was close enough to what the conversation was similar to, but it was it's very fun to see Ozzy in this spot and be like, no, this is what playing a good game looks like. And just immediately calls out Jonathan and Joe. It's like, hey, like, you two did not play a good game. Like, this is what playing a good game could look like if you're trying to play in the middle. And he calls them out on their claims for this. So I definitely thought that was a very good moment for Ozzy. But sorry, is there anything else that I'm forgetting notable moment-wise from this?
I believe that was the majority of it.
Is there anything else you want to say with Final Tribal while I try to look up something for the Final Tribal?
Yeah. I think a lot of the jury has already made up a lot of their mind, and that some people are gonna vote along their old alliances, and some other people are actually gonna vote along as to who played the best overall game. And I think there's very much a clear winner as to who played the best overall game. Yes, and a lot of people give this player a lot of flack because they didn't play too exciting in the early portion of the game, and it was a fairly safer middle route of navigating your way to the end. But yeah, I think now was the time for Aubrey to finally get her crown, and I was all for it.
Yeah, so what happens is Aubrey wins in an 8-3-0 jury vote. She gets 8 of the 11 jury votes. Jonathan gets 3, and Joe gets none. Out of a record-breaking 19 jury votes he could have gotten in 2 final tribals, he secured 1. Mila Kunis, how many does Joe Hunter get jury votes? How many jury votes does he get? You get 1. Not even in this season. Sorry. I love that 70s show. It was a funny show. Anyways.
And it was set in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, it was in Wisconsin. I always forget that. What was it called? Like not Random Lake. Fuck was it called? This town was like,
I'm blanking.
Point. Yeah, me too. But like I remember because I think I tried to look up that city once as a joke and I couldn't find it. I'm like, of course it's a made up city. Sorry. Anyways, but Point Please. Yes, that's what it's called. Oh my gosh, that feels so much better. Oh, that feels so much better for my brain. But yeah, Aubrey wins. And then let's get to the sorry excuse for a reunion. And first off, I am happy for Aubrey that she won. Because everyone was so upset with the Ko. I do think it's also ironic that in Ko Wrong she loses. Because Michelle plays a very quiet, stealthy under the radar game and a very social focused game. Aubrey essentially does very similar to Michelle, playing an under the radar game. And hang on, Alexa, stop it. My Alexa went off. Sorry. Anyways, Aubrey basically plays a very similar game to Michelle, being on the bottom for parts of the game and have to be very sneaky under the radar and have to like bond with people socially until she can take control in the end game and have power towards the end. Not like exactly like Michelle, but there are very much similarities to Michelle. Like I called it weeks ago when she made the Michelle comment, like maybe I can learn a couple of things from Michelle. I'm like, yeah, Aubrey's winning at this point. I feel like they just made it like obvious. And I just think it's so funny that like Aubrey literally plays a Michelle-esque game and then she finally wins. And she's probably happy she lost Ko Wrong and won 50 because she gets $2 million. She also got a car at this poor excuse of a reunion because he addressed literally no one, didn't ask questions we wanted to hear. Like, it was basically just like, it felt like almost it was Jeff Probst bitching at us, the audience, saying, this reunion sucks so bad, and this is why you should want us to do the after show and not the live reunion, even though it wasn't a reunion. It wasn't a reunion. It was a, it was nothing. So, I found popcorn in my pocket. I was like, how did that get in there? Sorry, anyways. But it was a poor excuse of a reunion. Literally nothing happens in it. Literally nothing happens. It was just so annoying. And like Aubrey gets a car. Okay, good for you. But then Jeff tries to say, the car curse is broken. No, it's not. You have to win the car in the game and then go on to win. That's not how the car curse works. And they forgot their own history again. If I was on Survivor, I wouldn't let them forget their own history. I'd call them out and be like, Jeffrey, did you forget this in Survivor Marquesas? Did you forget that all the way in Survivor Gabon? Actually, he probably wants to forget about Survivor Gabon. Let's be honest with that one. Sorry, what did you think of
history? History isn't even written by those. History isn't even won by the winners anymore. It's written by those who are in power. Yeah, that's just
Right.
It's just par for the course, I guess. But no, I was happy to see Aubrey's win here. The car nonsense is fine.
Yeah.
You know, she just won $2 million, you know, before tax, of course. She could have got like 3
Okay,
other
Jeff
cars if
Kent.
she wanted to. So it's crazy that they also gave her a car. And yeah, like you said, it doesn't even go along with the lore. So like, what are we doing here? I don't know. And yeah,
Right.
like you said, all of the interesting bits of the reunion actually kind of happened like midway through like the show in those intermission bits. And like certainly the best part of this reunion was the production and Jeff's fuck up with revealing the results of fire making live. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you said, it's almost like they wanted to sabotage themselves, and it's like they want to
Yeah.
say
Well,
no,
it
never
was
do a live
self-sabotage.
reunion again.
Yeah, because Jeff doesn't want to do a live reunion. Like, it's very clear he likes the after show, even though no one else does. Because nothing happens at the after show. Like, literally, because they don't have time to process, there's nothing for them to know about what happened, so they just literally bitch about nothing. It's just, it was a poor excuse for a reunion, and it was very much a slap in the face because they were trying to make it like, oh, well, this is why we're right and you're wrong and why we shouldn't have a reunion. And it's just like, it was very disappointing. I did not enjoy it, and I think honestly we need a redo reunion just for that, just because we voted on a reunion. That was not a reunion. So, but they won't. They sabotaged. I know for a fact they sabotaged the 50 live finale and reunion thing. It's clear. It's clear they did that. So it's just annoying. But is there anything else you want to say before we move on to the next couple segments?
No, what other segments do we got to talk about?
I want to go through kind of general thoughts of the season as well as a fun little mini game that we'll do in this. General thoughts on 50 in general. And if you have questions in the audience, start asking your questions now. But yeah, Sai, what did you think about 50 overall? Like, what would you rank it out of 10? What do you think about it overall as a season? What do you think? Now that's all
I
aired out.
think there's a lot to be thankful for, and there was a lot of cool moments that did come in 50, and we did get to see a lot of cool faces come back that we did want to see. Yeah, I can't help but feel underwhelmed. It almost feels like this didn't live up to the hype of the 50th season of Survivor because they did try to overbook it and overdo it with all these over the top forced sponsorship integrations that nobody asked for and all these crazy twists that are over the top and ended up costing a lot of really cool players their second chance game or their fifth chance game or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. I think we'll be able to look back on it and find the joy in some of the right moments. But yeah, between all of the gaffes along the way in this season and the gaffes of the live reunion and finale and all that, yeah, thank God that's over.
I'm literally the same exact way. I was typing in the banner for the thing the next thing we're gonna do. But yeah, so literally my general thoughts on 50. We bitch about game changers so much, by the way. Haley Ford should not have been a game changer. Second chances too, yes, but not, I almost fell, but not game changers.
Let game changers go.
No, actually like Haley. Again, I like Haley. Just any other season, just not that one. I really do like Haley Ford as a player. I think she has potential, and I wouldn't mind seeing her come back, actually. All jokes aside with that before, because that's how I actually feel. But I think 50 actually is worse than game changers. At least game changers, they let the players play the game. 50, they just didn't. And I've said it since a freaking, months ago. All they need to do was expand the days back to 39 days or have 2 people get voted off every pre-merge round. That's all they need to do. All they need to do. But no, they're so stubborn on forcing these stupid-ass twists in the game that they don't sit back and think, maybe this isn't going to make as fun TV as we think it is. I mean, I like Aubrey as a winner, but I just don't like how a lot of her win came from luck. She basically is the first move from her tribe, both pre-swap and post-swap. She's basically the one who goes if they have to go to tribal once. She gets lucky that they basically win out. She then gets lucky that she's able to have an idol come merge, and that the Blood Moon twist basically puts her in such a good spot that the biggest opposition she has gets voided off because of a glorified split tribal twist. She gets very lucky that Ozzy essentially spills his plans and gives Aubrey ammunition to go against him. Like, she gets a lot of her win is based on luck. And I want to like her as a winner because she does play a lot better. She does play a good game, but like, from what we're presented, she basically gets to the end on a pure luck. And it's just very frustrating. It's very much seeming like she only gets to Final 7 because of pure luck. And it isn't until around that time that she really starts to have control over the game. And it's just all these stupid twists, the bullshit celebrity inserted crap. Like, it's just... This, honestly, again, I think this is the worst returnee season we've ever had. And it's because they just did not think about the fact of, hey, maybe we didn't want... Oh, by the way, I know the vote for twists was bullshit as well. Because I called it last year. I think it was literally almost a year ago today. I called it out with Alex, saying that they were going to put in whatever they wanted with these twists and advantages and all this shit, and then claim that that's what the fans voted for, regardless of the outcome. Our votes did not matter. Like, CBS and Jeff Probst did not care what we really thought. They were just going to fuck up some numbers, make shit up, and then be like, ooh, this is what the fans voted for. Like, come on, give me a break, dude. Like, it just pisses me off that this season could have been so much better. They had so many all-star cast members. All they had to do was let the players play the game. And they clearly did not trust the cast they handpicked. So, my ranking on 50... It's probably like, right now, it's probably like a 4, maybe 5, probably, no, 4 out of 10. There's just too many dumb twists, so.
I'll go
what
5.
Do you rate it? 5, that's fair. I'd rank it higher, but it's just, I want to rank it higher, it's just, I can't. There's too many dumb twists in the mix. There's just too much shit going on, and they needed to let off and let the players play the game. So, yeah.
It's a fake democracy within a fake democracy. Yeah, of course the fans are not like voting for these sorts of ridiculous twists. And of course, you know, production would rather like let us take the fall. Like, y'all voted for this. Like, y'all have the final say, and y'all are limiting in what you let us vote on, and that's how it goes. And eventually, I don't know, you'd like to think some people would just get sick and tired of that sort of thing. But instead, we keep having hope that those in power will eventually listen and change. And hopefully that future changes for the better with this new open era that is coming.
The open era. I actually do want to say the cast looks interesting for 51. Although now people are saying it's 51 or it's 21 players. So now people are unsure if it's going to be 2 tribes of 10 with a Palau-esque opening twist, or if it's going to be like 3 tribes of 7 for like 1 round, because the trailer shows 2 colors like for 2 tribes. So let's hope for 51 onwards they take into consideration what the fans are saying and actually listen to us and don't do so many dumb things. If it's like very minimal stuff, I wouldn't have minded. Like, I understand if you want to add like 1 or 2 advantages in to shake up the game, maybe 1 twist in the season, but we did not need like every round of the majority, like the middle game entirely is compromised of dumb twist. And that's what I didn't like about it. But is there anything else you want to say aside before we get on to our next segment?
No, I think we covered a lot of our grievances.
All right. So let's get to our next segment, which is a fun mini game I like to call Will Insert Name Come Back? And essentially it's going to be us speculating briefly on each player on if we think they're actually going to have a chance of coming back or if they're going to want to come back within the scope of future seasons. So let's
can we make it like lightning round style where it's like very quick?
Well, I said briefly.
Because
Well,
otherwise, like, yeah, you'll be like, well, actually, this person should come back in this time, but only
I
like this.
said
And
briefly.
we're going to be here all day.
Chat, do you see this bullshit right now? I said briefly. He didn't listen to me.
Yeah, and I briefly for you means something entirely different than for most people.
Bullshit. Okay, you know what? Let's get started. Let's go with our first boot in Jenna. And I actually think it's possibly likely we see her back at least one more time. She really wanted to come back to play. It's very clearly like I don't feel like they were satisfied that she got out early because they've been trying to bring her back for years. Before 40 became Winners at War, Jenna was on the cast, and it's very clear they like her enough to want to bring her back for 50 as a sole Borneo representation. So, I mean, I think it's like maybe 50-50 right now. What do you think for Jenna?
I'd say doubtful and no. Yeah, but I'd say there's, I guess, a chance.
For Kyle, I think it's very likely. He didn't really even get to play a second time. He got medevac. I think at some point he'll be back. Like, there's no way they won't bring him back one more time. I'd be surprised if I'll put him in a category of like, I'd be surprised if he doesn't come back.
Absolutely. He's definitely in the probable category of likely to return.
Yeah. Savannah, I think Savannah's coming back. She really, again, did not get to play a second season, was out almost immediately. They gave her a really bad tribe to start on. And then it's also just the fact that they loved her enough to bring her back. Literally the only winner to ever be brought back right after the winning season. That was Savannah. So with that in mind, I think Savannah's very likely. They clearly love her enough to bring her back. They give her a whole, like, big moment, cinematic moment on her way out the door, and just... I think Savannah will be back.
Agreed. She came back too soon, and her game was snake bitten. So I certainly, again, see her as being a featured superstar of the newer era to open era. So yeah, Savannah will be back.
Did you say snake bitten?
Yeah.
49, Jake.
Remember what I said about Richie not being brief?
I was laughing at something you said, bitch. Okay.
I wasn't even trying to go there.
I thought you were joking with when you said snake bitten. That's why I started laughing. Let's move on. Q, I think Q's gonna come back. I think they're probably still pissed off that Q was voted off early. I think Q will be back. What do you think?
Q will either come back or he'll go play other shows. One of the two.
That's true. I can see that. Mike White, I think he'll be back. Mike's the White's the only one that I'm honestly kind of content if he doesn't come back. He's one of the few I'm content if he doesn't come back. As I don't hate Mike White, but I think he should have been on Second Chances too. I think he would have did better, like far better on a season like that, where it's more of the redemption story rather than anything else. But Mike, I think he's going to come back because he's best friends with Jeff Probst, and I think that's probably why he's going to eventually come back down the line. So, what do you think?
Hot take. I don't want Mike White to come back because I genuinely believe there are other players that should absolutely come back before him. And like you said, him fitting into 50 here was not necessarily the best fit, and he couldn't, unfortunately, get out of the pre-merge because he got sniped by Christian and them, and that was the smart move. But yeah, like, again, Mike White's a made man. Like, he's got plenty of other things to do. Of course he's a super fan, and that's great. You can fucking bring him back for the next celebrity cameo, you fucking assholes. Let him promote Corona beers. Fuck you. Let's get fucking better people on this show to play, like myself and Richie. Thank you.
Yes. I love how you say it, hot take at the start when I basically said the same thing. Like, do I want Mike White to come back? No. Am I expecting him to come back? Yes. But I do agree. I feel like
I guess it's the smart money's on. Yeah, he'll be back.
I think it's like, I feel like it's really more so he was called because he's friends with Jeff rather than they want him back for him, is what it kind of felt like to me. But
exactly, yeah.
Moving on to Angelina. Unfortunately, I just don't see her coming back. Like, they cut out so much funny content of her this season that was just such good content for her as a character and player in general. I don't know if I could really see her coming back, unfortunately, which sucks because I want to see Angelina play again. But it's just more of, I'll just be shocked if she ever does, because it feels like the editors did not care about her that much. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Angelina coming back is probably doubtful. And yeah, I enjoyed her in DVG in her first season, and she went very deep in that game, and she was very funny and entertaining then. But yeah, she didn't get too much content in this season. Again, another victim of production more than anything. But we
Yeah.
probably won't see her again. She'll probably I don't know, like get on White Lotus again or something. But she'll be fine with being content with Survivor, I imagine.
Yeah. Charlie, I think he'll be back down the line. It's probably not going to be for a while, but even though he was like the last boot before the merge, I think they liked him enough to where they're going to want to keep him around. So Charlie, I think will be back. I think it's going to be a while before we see him because it's probably going to be a very specific season, like Heroes versus Villains 2 or an all runner-up season or something of that sort. So.
Didn't realize I was muted for a second there.
No, you're
yeah, it feels like Charlie's game got cut a little too short. It feels like there was more opportunity there for a return run. So I guess I would like to see him come back, but I don't know. Maybe there's other opportunities that could be given to other people.
I agree. Like, I think a lot of people should be brought back first, especially from the pre-New Era days who still haven't gotten a chance to come back, who should have been back on 50, but I digress.
I guess if options were like, if I were to make a list of returning players, I guess if instead of writing Charlie Davis's name on there, I guess I would leave a blank space. Thank you.
Camilla, I think Camilla is gonna come back down the line. It's probably like Charlie. I think she's gonna be back down the line. I just think it's gonna be a while before we see her again because it might be a specific theme. But I'd love to see Camilla back. So
yeah, Camilla rocks. I got to check out her live stream and see what game she plays. But no, she was very entertaining. I didn't watch 48 myself, but I watched recap videos and she seemed entertaining on there. She was entertaining in her brief time on 50. And yeah, I could totally see her coming back as well.
Genevieve, I think Genevieve is actually a 50-50 here because do we all want Genevieve back? Yes. Is she wanted to come back? No. The only theme I heard she would ever come back for is Blood versus Water 3 because her husband really wants to play. So I actually think it's unfortunately very unlikely on her end because I think even production wants her back. I think the issue is just more so, does she want to come back? So that's the only issue I think it's been running into. So like, I want Genevieve back. I'd love Genevieve to come back. I think it's unlikely because of her end. She doesn't want to come back is what it sounds like, unless it is a very specific theme. So unfortunately, I think it's unlikely. What do you think?
I think it's only possible in that one instance of the Blood versus Water type season. Otherwise, yeah, it seems like Genevieve might be content with solo Survivor at least.
Yeah. Colby, I think he's done. I feel like that whole edit thing they did, I think he's done. I'd be surprised if he ever comes back.
God bless you, Colby Donaldson. We've loved watching your evolution from all the way from season 2 up to now. Yeah, it's I'd love to picture Colby coming back in a non-playing type role. I don't know, like if they could just redo Island of the Idols 2, but like do it better, like significantly better. They could do something like Colby and Jerry. Like, I don't know.
That would be funny, actually. Colby and Jerry. Next up is D. I think D's coming back in the future. I could really actually see him trying to force D on any season because they clearly like her. Even though she did the challenge 41 right before Survivor 50, which I think is funny because they got really upset when Carolyn did Traders 3, but she, over a year before Survivor 50 even filmed, but they're not totally fine with D doing that, like filming a game right before Survivor 50. But I don't know. D, I'd love to have D back on, though. I think production is definitely going to have D back on.
Yeah, I think D is a lovely presence on any show she's on. I haven't watched many of her seasons again with her being New Era that I didn't exactly watch. And but she was entertaining on 50 as well. Yeah, I guess I don't know. It similar to Q, I'd put her in the same category. Like, okay, either she will be back because they like her a lot, or she will just go apply to another show and go play something else.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk Chrissy and Coach in tandem since they were just the same time. Chrissy and Coach, I feel like I don't know if they're gonna be brought back. Like I really like Chrissy. I've always liked Chrissy as a player, but production didn't seem to care about her at all this season. Coach, I think it's unlikely for Chrissy because for some reason production had this beef with her this season for some reason. Coach, I think Coach is just done. I think he was already saying this was his last appearance on Survivor, so it's like I don't know. I'd be surprised if either of them are back in the future, although I'd love to see Chrissy on a runner-up season. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're really talking about two legends of the game in both their respective ways here. But it is tough because two of these names are pretty controversial because now we're getting into the realm of the alleged Zoom alliance involving two of these people. And yeah, well, we could talk about that as we go. But no, like these are the first people in the Zoom alliance, like they're like eliminated. And it's like, similar to Colby, I would like to see Coach or perhaps even Chrissy come back in non-playing type roles. But yeah, I don't see them ever playing the game again. They are both in their 50s, and I'm sure they're both content with the adventures they've had out on the game. And yeah, no, it was disappointing. I certainly was expecting more from both of them, or at least to go further. But then again, they both went out to a crazy duo twist, and that's a whole other thing. So it is what it is. But I don't think we're gonna see Chrissy again, and I don't really confidently believe we'll see the Dragon Slayer again, as much as that pains me to say.
I still want to see Chrissy come back one more time and actually get a better edit at least. I think that's fair to say. Christian, I think is definitely coming back. I think even production realizes in their edit that they essentially screwed him with these dumb twists. So like Christian's coming back. So
as much as I would love Christian to come back, I gotta say I internally feel doubtful because I believe Christian has like other priorities in life and other interests in life. And I just see the stuff like on social media that he'll post about like robotics and about science and about all these other things and like trying to be an educator to a lot of people. And honestly, I think Christian Hubicki, he's got like a great mind and a great heart, and he's just going to use that in other means around the world now that he has the influence that he's gained from Survivor. However, I do believe there is the interesting point of, yes, his game was also ruined because of another ridiculous twist. There is a chance he could come back, but only if it's like he can only come back if it's like a mentors and mentees pairing season, and I'm his mentee. Thank you.
I love that. Stephanie, I don't think we really have to talk about it that much. I think Stephanie's done. Even the edit clearly was dunking on her at the final tribal. I think Stephanie's done. She didn't bring anything to 50, I feel like, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, she brought out the glaze for Jonathan at Final Tribal Council, but I think Stephanie has caught a lot of controversy from a lot of people in the Survivor diehard community that we're a part of, and I don't know. I don't see her coming back and playing again, and I think she's just gonna keep riding the momentum she has to maybe go play like Traders again or play another show or something. But yeah. I don't see her back on Survivor.
Emily, I think Emily actually might come back eventually. I think it's just gonna be very much like it would have to be a specific theme for Emily. I'd like to see Emily back. I'd love to see Emily back. I think it's just more so 50-50 because it will depend on the theme and if she's in the mood to play again. So
I was very interested by Emily's gameplay. She was admittedly too chaotic, yet she was chaotic in a very fun, entertaining way to me. I don't know how her chaos didn't manage to piss me off, but she managed to like make a lot of mistakes in the game. And I think she could absolutely apply those mistakes to a future game. And I definitely think she could get called back. I don't know. We'll see if that ends up happening.
I love Emily. Emily's hilarious. Ozzy. I think unless Ozzy goes to Australian Survivor, I think Ozzy's done with Survivor. I'd be surprised if CBS brought him back a sixth time, unless it's in a coach's role, like Island of the Idols esque. I just can't see them bringing back Ozzy anytime soon.
Island of the Idols, Coach and Ozzy. That would be fun.
That would be fun. Actually, I'll get to that idea again in a minute. But yeah, you go.
Yeah. No, the only way Oscar is going to come back is if the grand prize is also a White Lotus cameo. So we're probably not going to see Ozzy on Survivor again, although he certainly wouldn't turn down the opportunity. I mean, he is only 43, so he's not like even that old yet, and he can still go. He still could theoretically come back and potentially try to pass Boston Rob's record again. So
yeah.
I don't know. Doubtful, but it could happen.
It could. Rick Devens. I think Rick is definitely coming back after this season. I feel like he's one of the only few people who is 100,000% guaranteed out of the post-merge players to be coming back at some point. Just with all the dynamics of the game revolving around Rick Devens, I think he's coming back. I think it's just going to be... Honestly, actually, no. I think he's one of the few people who's guaranteed. They could probably try to squeeze him into any theme they want, and I think he would really work for it. So, like, I don't know. What do you think about Rick Devens?
Yeah, he left us a lot of very fun moments on 50, and I enjoyed watching him come back, and I'm so thankful he came back. He's absolutely so captivating as a character, and he's going to be successful with whatever he decides to do. If he decides to keep being a weatherman, or if he wants to go play Beast games with his new friend Jimmy Donaldson or whatever, or hopefully, like you said, yes, maybe one day we could see Rick Devens play Survivor again. But when it comes to seeing him on our TV screens, I believe he is not. Dun 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 dun. Thank you.
I love that. Next up, we have Cirie. Cirie's. I mean, I want Cirie back. I think CBS and Jeff Probst want Cirie back. I think Cirie's a combination of Ozzy and Genevieve. I think she's only going to come back if either A, it's a very, very specific theme, like years down the line, and it would be like a one last time thing, or B, she would also only come back if it's like an Island of the Idols type of twist, which I can honestly see her and Ozzy doing that. I think that'd be a great thing for her. She gets another appearance on Survivor, but she doesn't have to actually like play the game. She could just be like, oh, hey, this is how you could do in the game, you know? And like, I think Cirie and Ozzy be a great dynamic for Island of the Idols too, if they ever did a theme like that again. But yeah, I think Cirie's unfortunately done. So.
Yeah, and I believe similar. I believe, there's the saying, never say never, and that applies to a lot of things in life. But Cirie has played this game multiple times, of course, and she's actually won other shows. She's won the Traders, and she's probably going to play other shows too. She's made it clear in post-game interviews she's not really done being on our TV screens, which is fantastic because we love seeing her on our TV screens, at least most of us. Looking at you, Alex. But anyways, no. Yeah, Cirie is probably one of the names on this list that is the least likely to come back, or at least one of the least likely, because like she said in post-game interviews, the game has given her so much and so much love and support and a platform and so many opportunities, and she is thankful for them, and she wants to give those opportunities to the newer era players. So yeah, I would love to see her back in a non-playing role, but I doubt she'll be back.
Yeah. Tiffany, I said this before with Tiffany. I'm actually not really sure on Tiffany. It's really a question mark. I think it's unlikely because of the fact that they just did not care about her in the edits, even though she was essentially like one of the biggest threats coming to the end game. They just did not really care about her. So that's what makes me really hesitant to say I could never see a world where she is brought back, but I just don't think it's likely. I don't know. What do you think?
And with as much as that is a fair critique, there is also the way to look at it as she was a fairly early jury boot in her first season, and for her to come back in a returning season full of such legends like this and to play so well and to win all the immunity challenges that she did and to be so strong socially and physically, like I said before, we're absolutely going to see Tiffany Irving again. Like, there's just no way she's not going to be back.
Right. I'd be shocked if she never gets a call again. I'm just not sure how likely it is just because we're in it. But that is just me. I could definitely see that.
Between the growth in her game and the groundswell of support she's gotten because of that, yeah, I definitely believe we're looking at a new fan favorite.
Next up is we actually forgot to say before in the finale thing. 3-1 fan favorite. All right, moving back to the game.
And in other news, the sky's blue. Thank you. Of course, Serena's going to win that. I mean, she's the casuals' favorite. I voted for Rick Devens personally, but
I forgot to vote.
I don't know how.
Let's go back to the mini game. Rizzo. I think Rizzo's coming back down the line. I think they're probably going to find the first chance they get to bring him back, and they'll bring him back.
Agreed. Yeah. No, there's no way he's going to, like, talk himself up this much and become, like, so popular. The Rizgod. Rizgod. Like, come on, man.
G-O-D. I love Rizzo. Joe, I said this last year around the same time after 48 aired. They're trying to make Joe the new Russell Hands in retrospect of putting him on our screens in close succession to try to show players this is the type of person we want you to be on Survivor. Kind of like with how Russell Hands, after he played, they casted a bunch of people that were Russell Hands-esque and like chaotic villain energy. They're trying to get a lot of people like Joe, old school Survivor mentality, to get people to be like Joe. But it doesn't work because Joe's not a good player. I think Joe's going to be back. Do I want him to be back? No, I don't want him to play again, but I could very much see him coming back in the near future. So what do you think about Joe?
Yeah, I'd say it's plausible. I would certainly give it more time than they did between 48 and 50 so that Joe could actually try to learn something in between, preferably learning not only just how to play the game Survivor, but also how to spell words. But I digress. No shade to Joe Hunter. He seems like a very swell guy. And he's just, some people are not meant to play this game and get to the end, and that they're not going to be able to explain it well enough. And I think Joe is one of those people.
Right.
It's happened twice now. You got third place.
Right. Jonathan is next up. Unfortunately, I do think Jonathan's going to be back in the future. A lot of the fans are in an uproar about how Jonathan should have won. Not all of them. I think the vast majority of the fans are actually very satisfied Aubrey won. But I know Jonathan is very much a notable thing because Jonathan's making a big moment out of it. And granted, fair enough on him for getting his 15 seconds out of this. But like at the same time, it's like, come on.
Well, of course, the guy from Alabama who's young and attractive and like making all of these like admittedly misogynistic game moves, of course he's going to resonate with a certain portion of this country, I would like to say, please don't come back, sir. Being somebody that I drafted you in one of these like little draft groups, you seemed like the total package on paper, and you certainly look like the total package physically, and you were a part of a lot of moves that admittedly you weren't the main part of, you weren't the main leading force of. And he tried to earn his $2 million and he tried to explain his game, but he just couldn't, at least like when up against the eventual winner who we'll talk about in a second. And
I will say,
I've just got to say, like, with all the controversies of this guy, you do not want him on your show. Like, it sounds like the guy is a bit of a piece of shit, and I'm very disappointed to find out. But, like, you can never, like, possibly predict, like, how people's, like, their history. You can't possibly predict that stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's unfortunate. He tried to play his best game, and he resonated with a few people, and that's cool. I don't know if he's resonating with the right kind of people. That's me. So yeah, he'll probably come back because he is well liked because of, like what you said, he is the total package, and he is liked by like Jeff or like production or whoever. So, but I could also like grow my hair out and I could get even more buff than I already am. And I could be the real fucking total package by the time I get cast in season 50X, whatever that is. So.
That'd be an interesting thought process. Okay, I forgot the joke was
You
gonna
want to see
say.
my pecs bounce, don't you? You fucking
I
freak.
mean, if you're offering it. I heard the last part of it as I was making my joke. Okay, no jokes. Gosh damn it, I need a second now. Great job, guys. He broke me.
You can never
Okay.
you can never break me because I'm already broken.
The table, it's broken.
Well, do we think the
Anyways,
winner of $2 million
probably,
pre-tax
yeah.
is
I
going
was
to
about
come
to say
back?
that. I don't think so. Actually, I don't know. I think the only way Aubrey comes back, they break is if they. I think if Aubrey comes back, I think it's only going to be under the context of it being like winners at War 2. I think that's the only way they're going to bring her back. Because I feel like she's already played 4 times. She's gotten $2 million out of it. She's gotten a car out of it. She, even after Edge of Extinction, she was kind of saying she was done and didn't want to come back. So it's more so kind of one of those things where I'd be really surprised if they brought her back anytime soon, especially because there was so much controversy in this before the season began, where Aubrey even said after Edge of Extinction she didn't want to come back. So, like, I don't know. But I'd be surprised if they brought Aubrey back.
Yeah, it would definitely be surprising, considering that based on what happened in her story across her now 4 seasons, she really has come full circle. And yeah, she won the big one. Like, she won the $2 million pre-tax cash prize. So, and she also won a car, and she didn't break the curse officially, no matter what Jeff says. And it is what it is. You know, I think Aubrey might be able to take this fame and go play another show of some kind. But I don't know. I don't know if she would be back for Survivor again, just because it is such a grueling game and she has played over like 130 something days. But she is also a psycho, so she totally would come back if given an opportunity.
That's good. That's fair. And so that we have our mini game finished. Now the questions. We have no questions.
That was a very fun mini game. I love that.
Yeah, I was trying to like think about how to like do that bit for the last like minute. I think we answered everyone's questions well before they could ask them. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's basically it. Everyone who's watched this season for the season 50 breakdown, I want to say thank you to everyone who's watched it the entire time. We will be back for Survivor 51 breakdowns. Hopefully they'll be a lot more consistent and not like back and forth. I mean, maybe we'll do it every week, maybe we'll do it bi-weekly, but overall, hopefully 51's better. It looks like a promising cast, so I'm excited to watch it.
Hopefully I'm off second shift work by the time 51 is out, and then I can go to more watch parties again.
Yes. We have Survivor Wisconsin, go watch and go apply for Survivor Wisconsin. Queer Survivor Midwest, go apply and watch that. Challenge Wisconsin, go watch and apply that. Season 2 finale just aired 2 days ago for Challenge Wisconsin 2. Season 3 filming Saturday, September 26th in East Troy. Queer Survivor Midwest is filming in southeastern Wisconsin. The location info is going to be given out to the players at hand, but it is a beautiful location we just got very recently. And it's Saturday, July 11th, 2026. Survivor Wisconsin is going to be airing season 11 soon, so keep an eye out for that. And if like, subscribe, comment, can't speak. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel Survivor What If. Alex and I will be doing a very special video together soon that we've been planning for a while now, that Alex and I meant to do all the way back in September. Or actually not September. We meant to do all the way back in December after Savannah won 49. But Alex and I will be doing it very soon. It's a me and Alex video that we've been very excited to do for a long while. Or at least I have. But there'll definitely be some fun videos over the summer and the off season for people who want to keep watching content. I'll try to be better with posts on Instagram. I'm doing a lot of research into the final Survivor 43 What If post. And I had to figure out 42 What If posts. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Go follow our Instagram at Survivor What If. Stime, anything you want to say before I close it out officially?
The future is still bright for the show. I still believe that the show is going to get better, and they're going to learn from a lot of the mistakes that they made, and they will continue to make new ones. But hopefully the show continues to evolve, and we continue to get better players and newer players and some newer exciting moments on the game of Survivor. And in the meantime, in the off season, yes, absolutely, we encourage you to explore your local LRG and even your virtual game communities and get to know all the crazy Survivor fans like us and get to spend a lot of time together and make new friendships that you never thought you otherwise would. It's really sweet. So yes, by all means, check out all the channels that Richie said, especially Idol Identifiers, because we will be recording our next season, season 11, in 5 days. And it's going to be a long day. I can't wait to wake up extra early for that. But we'll have a good time.
With how much running I'm going to do that day, I better drop at least like 6-7 pounds. Gosh damn it, I said it. There's a girl who's deaf. There's a girl who's deaf who went on Instagram, a deaf girl who went on Instagram and said that every time people do this, they're saying balls in sign language. So think about that the next time you do the 6'7", Joe.
I'm all about that. I got big balls, motherfucker. Big dog, big nuts.
Oh, you're all about them balls?
We can't. It's not going to get any better than this. We should call it here. Good night, everybody, from Survivor What If.
Okay. So I've been your host, Richie. Thank you for watching. Been here today with my co-host.
I'm Alex Steib. Go follow me on Instagram at STEIB67.
At RSKI52 on Instagram. I am not RIZGOD. I am RICHDOG. And this has been Survivor 50 Finale Breakdown. Thank you everyone for watching this season. We'll see you back soon for more fun stuff this summer and for Survivor 51 breakdowns. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.